everyone. It's another Friday. Welcome back to IG Live with Harman Pro India. Today we're going to be chatting with Hamza Kazi. He's a drummer, and he's performed with. He's mainly well known for being a part of the progressive Hindi rock band Koshish, and along with a host of other acts as well. So, without further ado, let's add him to the chat. Hamza, if you're watching, I've sent you an invite. Hey Hamza, I've sent you the invite so you can check your notifications. I hope you have the latest version of Instagram. I've just accepted your request, but I cannot see you on the screen. Okay, so I've sent you a request, and I just got a message that Hamza Kazi _ drums is not able to join. Let me try sending you the invite again. I've had it with these technical glitches.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yes. Finally. One sec. Hold on. Let me just set this up straight. Can you see me?
Yep, I can.
Yep. And say hello to, this is
There's
Numa.
something. Oh my God, Numa.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is Jambai. They're both Tool songs, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
So, yeah. So they're going to be here. They're going to be part of the distraction. If you ask me a difficult question, I'll be, Macaws. So, yeah.
Do you find it difficult to carry them around?
No. Good one. For everyone else who didn't get the joke, Danny Carey is, hey, behave. Danny Carey is my favorite drummer, so that's why, I have to explain it to people who wouldn't understand the good quality joke.
Right out of the top shelf.
Yeah, totally.
So how have you been, man? How's it going?
Good. It's been quite hectic of late. Gigs have just started opening up. The market has started opening up again, and gigs have just started happening. So that's a good thing. I've been chilling like a willing for for the past 2 years with no gigs, but yeah, it's been good now.
Yeah, it's great that things are finally opening up. Is that Jambai on your right shoulder or?
Yeah, this is Jambai. This is Numa. She's a bit of a nuisance. She keeps pulling my earplugs out.
Yeah, because Jambai was just about to do that. Yeah. Oh
yeah,
my. Okay.
Yeah. They're fun. So wait. Hey, be careful. Behave. Yeah. So don't mind them. They're just going to be. I have to make do with them.
No. I asked you because I just thought that Jambai was about to take the other earphone out. So
no.
He was intently looking at it. So
he's pretty chill. Ironically, Jambai is the more intense song, but Numa is the one who gets a little but yeah.
Numa turned into a Namuna.
If our powers combine now, we'll be Cat Pun Planet.
Oh my God. Cat Pandit.
The viewership is going to go down if we keep at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it could go either ways, man.
And then we'll be cast on like SNL and all. So who knows?
Yeah, and then you look at what happened to Jimmy Fallon. So,
Yeah. Yes.
so
So
for the benefit of everyone who's joined us today, could you take us on your journey so far? How did it all begin? How did you choose, or was it more of you had a set of instruments and then you shut your eyes and go, this, or how was it?
so so I live in Mahim, and there's something known as Mahim Fair, which is a nuisance to anyone who passes Mahim in the months of, actually in the month of December, where there's this fair that sort of blocks the road, and one of the things that is responsible for blocking the road is this huge ass band, where with those. I mean, I can't call it a band, a procession of sorts, where they have these massive drums and they just blast beat throughout the entire what they think is a song. So I used to be really, really inspired by that, and used to get these toy drum kits. Like not even a drum kit, just like toy drums made of like, I kid you not, dalda cans, right?
A noteworthy comment, by the way,
Huh.
someone who's Scarecrow Shriek just said fair is unfair.
That's Shrikant. So yeah, so
Oh,
so yeah.
okay.
So what used to happen was so they used to have these drums made of like painted dalda cans,
Hmm.
and I think like goat skin. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in like killing animals for that, but back then I didn't know better. But yeah, so they used to have those, and I used to buy like three or four of those. I remember they used to cost like $10 or something. This is back in like 1990 maybe. So I
Yeah.
used to set
Anish
those
is
up, and
saying that's your first. Anish is saying that's your first introduction to blast beats.
yeah, and my first introduction to endorsements also, like dalda drums.
Oh yeah, and
Uh,
it's got a nice ring to it, not dalda drums.
I mean, it depends, but yeah, it has a ring.
Yeah,
Whether it's nice or not is
yeah.
debatable.
It's maybe
So,
one ring to rule them all. So you never know.
man, you should have your own like proper podcast or radio show.
No, it'll be an improper one, man. That's a good name, improper podcast. Nice.
I'll be your first guest.
You'll be gassed. Sorry. Go on. Dalda.
I guessed that joke was coming, but so so yeah, so then I used to be like, so that used to happen, and they used to last like what, like 1 week, because back then, even though I was like 14 and a half kgs, I probably still had a lot of strength. So yeah, I used to go through those within a week, and then I had to wait like one more year for Mahim Fair to come back to buy those, and this was like an every year ritual. Then my mom thought that, oh, this guy likes drums so much, let's put him for piano lessons. So in the third standard, I used to go for piano lessons in the building next to mine. But there, instead of focusing on the piano lessons, I was more interested in paint, like coloring the sketches that were there in the book.
Ah.
So I was clearly not interested in piano at all. So I used to go for the class, and I used to just practice something. Then I used to start coloring. I used to take my color pencils and go start coloring and all. And my mom was like, okay, this guy is hopeless. So let's just stop these classes. So I went, I think for 6 months. And yeah, and then nothing happened. And then I heard Tool in 2001. And then I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I heard, especially after this song called Ticks and Leeches,
Oh
ironically, Numa,
man.
yeah, ironically, Numa and Jambai weren't released then. So, hey, behave. I know. Yeah. So when I heard Ticks and Leeches for the first time, I was like, whatever is happening in this song, I want to do. And then I said, okay, you know what? I want to be a drummer. But ironically, this was in my 10th standard, and every Indian ghar ka saga with the 10th standard. They're like, okay, you can play drums and all, but after the 10th. So I said, okay, cool. This is around, this is 2001. So then I was like eagerly waiting for my 10th standard to get over. And then in March 2002, I was like, yes, freedom. And let's try and, get those chops happening. But then there was no internet back then. So it took me 6 months to find a tutor. Can you believe that? No,
Wow.
there was,
Wow.
yeah, there was this, yeah, this also happens. So there was this, there was this one
Nice
guy.
hairdo.
Thanks. There was this one guy who came to my house and he told my dad, okay, I don't mind teaching him, but if I teach him, he will only be a professional. And this was like the
Oh,
10th. So my mom freaked out. She's like, no, he's going to make him a drummer. I want him to do this as a hobby and all that. So then that didn't go through. Then finally, I got the contact of Allegros, which is where
okay.
Gino and this guy called Pradeep Nair, if I remember correctly, they used to teach drums over there, which was Chandresh's Institute. So I used
Okay. Got it.
so Chandresh, then Crosby used to teach bass. It was supposed to be in Bandra. Ironically, yeah, lots of irony in my music career. When I joined, they shifted to Kiranagar. So it used to take me 1.5 hours by bus to go for lessons twice a week in Kiranagar. And I used to learn on a drum kit that had a bullet hole by a BB gun. Can you believe that? I'm
Wow.
not making any of this up, dude. It's all real.
Well, at least it's better than pillows, man.
Yeah, well, for sure. It was like much better than pillows. One second, we're having a bit of a technical issue. Hey, wait, you stay down and you stay. Imagine recording with these guys in the room. One second,
Yeah, I
can
mean,
you just? So
and you
yeah.
told me, right? I mean, they're very needy, exceptionally needy.
Well, these guys are like a 6 on the scale of neediness. Like cockatoos are like 11. So these guys are like chill. Like this guy will now just be around. Hi, yeah, bye. Say hi. Say hi to Harish. Yeah,
Hey,
not in the mood. So
I was worried. I was worried that he might actually break your screen. Tak khatam udari.
oh
End
no
of
no no
life
no.
cut.
They are they're not death metal parrots. They're prog metal parrots. No, so हाँ
Okay,
वो
okay.
मॉशपिट
So he'll
मॉशपिट भी
just
होता
do
है
a
ना तो
he'll just do a polyrhythm on the screen.
हाँ तो वो टट 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 ऐसा टैप करेगा वो टट 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 नहीं टैप करेगा ऐसा so
I don't know why I said polyrhythm and my phone ka voice assistant got activated.
अरे because Polly wants a cracker no
True, true,
yeah
true, true. Yeah.
so
I
yeah
didn't
so
know
then
Polly was a detective, by the way.
wait now why
Otherwise, why would he want to track her, na? मतलब
अरे क्रैकर बोला यार क्रैकर
अब मेरे को ट्रैकर सुनाई दिया अभी मैं क्या करूं
good on so the both of us will be just tripping on these jokes. Everyone else will be like, "ये करते हैं," Dude, imagine
आगे
some of them might they might be thinking these guys actually get paid to do this.
नहीं भाई पैसा नहीं मिलता है पैसा है तो बोलो किधर जाता हूँ बकवास करने को
Yeah. So then I used to go all the way to Kira. One more interesting story. The reason why they shifted from the Bandra school to the Andheri, the Kiranagar place, was because apparently somebody didn't pay an electricity bill of $50,000. This is back in 2002. I'm saying, yeah. So weird
50,000
story.
bucks
Yeah,
क्या कर क्या रहे
weird
थे वो
story.
लोग
I have no idea, dude. So anyway, so then I started taking lessons, like proper lessons on staff notations. It was fun.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to buy a kit, which I couldn't afford, obviously. So then I didn't have a kit. So I used to practice on pillows. And then I had to stop again because hurdle number 2 came in, which is the 12th. So I had to stop
Right.
taking lessons in like, I think 2003, some odd. But then I got into programming. I got some cracked version of Fruity Loops where I used to program like the basic beats and all. By basic beats, I mean double bass at 200 BPM back then, which I didn't know I could play. I still can't play at 200 BPM, but like full on, like, and I was like, oh man,
By the
this.
way,
And
it's not Fruity Loops anymore. It's FL Studio.
abhi now it's like cool now. So it's FL Studio. Now
Arey,
it's like what?
super awesome. It's super awesome right now. Like, मैं भी
Have they
करते हैं
find
उसपे. हाँ.
have they finally found out how to merge time signatures? Because back then, this is, and I'm talking about Fruity Loops 2.1. So now it must be
अभी
like
तो
50.
23, 24 चल रहा है कुछ.
Yeah. So back then, like if I had to program like something which
I know
had
what you mean.
two different time signatures, I had to program one, export it, program the other, export it, and then merge it in Audacity. Because obviously I didn't have like Cubase or Nuendo and all back then, so struggle days.
Correct,
dude.
because if you increase the time or change it by in any way,
Then the whole track.
a whole track plus it would probably become something weird like a swing pattern or something.
Yeah. So those were like, and I was like, why is it so difficult? But it taught me a lot. And then I got a practice pad from Gladnix, which was like these 6-inch pads, where you could just have like basic coordination better than like a practice pad, because there was like 2 toms, 1 snare, 1 floor tom, and 1 kick. So I had that much coordination. And I bought the sastaest pair of hats that you can imagine. Dude,
Okay.
in 2003, they cost $600 from Fatados. Like a 6-inch pair of hats.
Wow.
So, I'll send you that photo. It's quite epic. So I used to program on Fruity Loops and then play along, on the practice kit. So that gave me like a lot of ideation of like trying to, imagine what a drum kit would sound like, and like just get like basic hands and feet coordination down. And then after my 12th got over, I was like, okay, now I need to get a drum kit. So I went to my dad. I'm like, I need to buy a drum kit. So he's like, okay, cool. You've been practicing and all, so we don't mind. How much does it cost? I said 30,000. He said, okay, that is the door. Get out. So I said okay. So then I tried to research.
Oh, I thought it's gonna be that's the door that costs around 30. You can sell that and then buy your kit.
I would have actually done that though. I would have considered doing that, but So then I was like, okay, what do I do now? This is now 34 was the price of the Imperial Star back then, Tawa. So I was like, what do I do? Then I asked Gino. I said, by 2004, as soon as my 12th got over, I contacted Gino. I said, because Allegros had shut down.
Right.
So I contacted Gino and I'm like, hey man, listen, I need to start taking lessons and all. And Gino happened to be from my school. So I knew Gino from like, I don't know, like maybe 98 or 97. We used to play football together and all. So, by the way, Gino and Jay are both from my school. And in a Christmas concert, there is actually a photo of Jay and me being drummer boys and Gino being the drummer lead. This is way back in like, I think 94, 95. Can you believe the extent of foreshadowing? Like Gino leading Jay and me. So that was like quite epic. So I told him that, I want to take lessons. So he's like, yeah, come over. So I used to go to his studio in Car. And man, he gave me lessons where like I should take like one lesson and 3 weeks. And he's like, hey, you want to come again? I'm like, wait, what you've given me is nearly impossible. So wait. Then I used to like practice my ass off and then go again, take another lesson. So I used to like ration my lessons with Gino. Then my dad finally said, okay, you know what? Let's see what drum kit can you actually afford. So I asked Gino. He said there's this new back then it was new. He's like, there's this new brand called Mapex, You should, give it a shot and all. I said, okay, I've never heard of it. That time there used to be those magazines like Rhythm and Drum and all these magazines that
Yeah.
Gino used to have. So then he showed me an ad. He's like, look, this. I was like, oh, okay, this seems affordable. I contacted Fatados and they're like, 18,100. I'm like, why can nothing be affordable, dude? Like, it's so. So I told
Well,
my
is
dad,
that the Chancellor series? Nahi.
no. This was the Mapex Q series. This was the
Okay.
cheapest back then in 2004. So I told my dad. He's like, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you half the amount. The other half you figure out. So then I started pirating music because that's. I mean, I'm not very, very, you know, happy with that phase of my life, but I needed the money. So I used to pirate music, make like proper, covers from cdcover.cc, print them out and all. But I used to tell people that these are pirated, but they were like as close to the original. I used to print the CD cover also, like the CD print, put that also on the CD. So it was like full
Dude,
on legend.
क्या अनकैनी है ये सब मैं करता था खुद के लिए. Like I would.
It started with me. Like I used to want
हाँ.
like Tool, Nine Inch Nails, Primus, and all that, which used to not get here. So I was like, okay, but
Yeah.
I need to have this CD. So I used to burn the CD and make the exact cover. Then one friend of mine saw it. He's like, dude, this is so cool. Where did you get it? I said, I made it. He's like, no way, make it for me also. So that time I used to sell it for $300 a CD. So then I got like a lot of customers and all. And then I collected enough money to buy the drum kit. And luckily or unluckily, by the time I collected enough money, the kit went out of stock. So
Oh.
yeah, dude, like every roadblock that you can imagine, now you can make a movie on this. So then the kit went out of stock. Then I had to wait. Then I remember in Jan 2005, my family was on vacation somewhere, and Shelton from Fatados called me. He said, "Hey, Baba, your kit has come." And this is like the second day of the holiday. I'm like, "Can we go back?" My dad is like, "Are you mad?" So I said, he's like, "Why?" I said, "Because the drum kit has come." He's like, "And you want to cancel the family vacation and go back to buy a drum kit?" I'm like, "Yeah, what if it gets sold out?" He's like, "We're going back in 3 days." I'm like, "If it gets sold out in 3 days," he's like, "Just shut up and don't psych me out." So I was like, okay. And I was like, just hoping, like, please. I called him. I said, listen. And that time there was no GPay and all. Na? I was like, I'll send somebody with a check and all. They're like, no, it's fine. You just come here. And so whatever. So then cut to after us coming back, I had like exactly $18,100 and $100 for the cab home. Okay. So I went all excited. I was like, Shelter, like I could see the box coming down and all. And then he's like, and symbols? I was like, symbols? He's like, huh? I said, it's not included. He's like, no, Baba, who told you? So I said, so now? So he's like, so now you have more money, right? I'll give you this Zildjian starter pack. I was like, no, I have 100 rupees to go back home. So he's like, acha, okay, then what to do? So I said, that's when I met Anthony. So Anthony came out and he's like, what happened? So I said, no, I didn't know. I've been saving up for like almost 1 year now. And I didn't know that you need to buy
Symbol
you need to
separately.
buy symbols separately. He's like, oh, okay. Who teaches you? I said, Gino. He's like, Gino didn't tell you this. I said, no, he must have, but I'm so excited, about this. So I must not have paid attention and all. So he's like, okay, I'll do this because you're Gino's student. I'll let you take this, Zildjian Planet Z starter pack. And you can pay me, like, he was like, so he had I was just this one random guy who used to go to the store every day, look at that catalog, unaffordable, 10 rupee sticks. Oh, I can buy. I used to buy sticks. And so he's just the sweetest, okay, like just the sweetest guy. And so he said, you take it. But I had can't know back then also. I was like, oh, you don't have Pice tea? So he's like, no, we don't have Pice tea. So I was like, oh, okay, then I don't want. Look at the swag, okay. First of all,
Like Anish said a while ago, the audacity of this guy.
Dude, I'm telling you, symbol लेने के लिए पैसा नहीं है, but I want spice tea. Why? Because Danny Carey uses spice tea. So I was like, So he's like, no. So I said, okay, then I'll just take this. So I was probably the only idiot who took just a drum kit out of Furtado's without cymbals. तो लेके गया मैं घर पे and then obviously I set it up and all. It sounded like I can't even describe it because obviously you know what like first time ever tuning drums would be like. So yeah, I set it up and then my parents also had that much foresight. They're like, something is missing, no? So I said, yeah, because obviously there were 3 stands with no cymbals on them. So then they're like, so then now? So I said, no, I didn't have money. So my mom felt bad and all. And she's like, she told my dad, like, at least, like, let's buy him something. So I had the option of buying a 7,000 rupees ka Planet Z starter pack, 4 cymbals, okay, or Sabian Solar 4 cymbal pack, or 1 pair of hi-hats by Paisty. Can you guess what I bought?
Wow. 1 pair of hi-hats?
Yes. So for 1 entire year, I didn't even have a crash. I just had hi-hats. But in retrospect, that actually helped me because I got a lot of like, so generally when you have a lot of stuff, you tend to focus on that. You don't maximize, the limited equipment that you have. So because I only had the hats, I had to have like different variations and all. So I focused a lot on like hi-hat opening, closing, and creating different types of sounds. So that happened. Then again, I sold pirated CDs, collected enough money to get like 1 crash ride. And then slowly now cut to me having like 85 Paisty cymbals, which is like overkill. But yeah. So yeah, Paisty has been
But
a part of my
a
journey.
similar kind of situation, I was also privy to, if you may call it that, but not out of choice. Like एक gig के लिए गया था, and they had a crash. They didn't have a ride at all. They had a crash, and it was split like this. And so no noise comes out of it except for some weird ass something like that.
Yeah.
Like शुरू होते ही खत्म हो गया वाला vibe. And then, like you said, I had to use the hats, the open hats, for the crash also.
So you know exactly what that felt like.
Yeah.
Except with me, I had a choice, but then brand loyalty before common sense. So I went with brand loyalty, but it paid off.
Feisty for Feisty.
Yeah. So that was my acquiring gear journey. And otherwise like musically, so I mean my sole aim of being a drummer was to be able to play Ticks and Leeches, which my lovely band Koshish actually helped me achieve in 2016, I think, when we covered that song. Even though it was like out of everybody's comfort zone, I'm like, guys, you have to do this for me, and they were sweet enough to agree. Like I actually got Mangesh to like growl. He's like, dude, karne ka hai kya? I'm like, please, dude, this like means a lot to me. So we're like, okay. So then we learned the song and we played it, I think, fairly well. So
was
yeah,
Koshish your first band?
Oh no. My first band was, so you know how you get that proverbial carrot, which a lot of people give for a lot of things. So our proverbial carrot was to open for I think this band called Witch Hammer.
Yeah.
So a great band.
Vegas. Keith Vegas.
I think he used to play. Man, Keith Vegas. Yeah, I think Keith Vegas was there. Then can't remember. There were a bunch of other people. So we were supposed to basically create when I was learning in Allegros, this is like in June 2003, we were supposed to learn like 10 songs and open for them.
Okay.
We practiced our asses off. That's where I met like a close friend of mine, Imran. So we formed a band of students and that gig never happened. But then Imran and I there's a Tool connection there also. This one day I was entering the classes, and I could hear the bass line of 46 and 2, and I'm like, who was this? Kya ho raha hai? And then I see Imran over there playing like the intro of 46 and 2. I'm like, oh my god, you like Tool? So he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my god, I love Tool and all. We should form a band. He's like, can you play? I said, no, but I can play like Back in Black. So he's like, okay, I don't mind. Like, let's form a band and all. One second, I'll just fix this. Yeah. So he said, yeah, totally. Let's form a band. And I said, okay, cool. So, and then he's like, there's a guitarist who lives in my building. So I was like, oh shit, this is epic. So then we formed a band, and the band was called Eggless Love Cake. Eggless because I used to have an egg allergy, and Love Cake because I think it was some nonsense. I had written some song, something. So it was supposed to be funny, tongue in cheek. And yeah, then it was called Eggless Love Cake. And needless to say, we actually used to cover Tool back then. This is like 2004. But Stinkfist, that was the only song that I could cover. And yeah, so that was my first band where we used to like compete, and I mean, we didn't play we did play a few shows, but it was mostly on that competition circuit where we always lost because but I used to win like the consolation best drummer prize. Oh, he played Tool, yellow, best drummer prize. Did we win? Oh, no. Y'all came like second last. Overall, y'all sucked. So that's what, so that was like my first band. And and then from then on, like, it's been like crazy. I used to be called the drum whore for the longest time because anyone who used to ask me, you want to play? Yeah, like totally. So I used to go out and play like with everyone possible. But that kind of helps.
This is uncanny. Because at one point even like मैं ऐसा 5-6 बैंड में था because of course I was working, so it was not like I like full dedication रात को 12 बजे तक practice, nothing like that. इधर भी है उधर भी है ये भी है.
Yeah, so man, I think it was also like so this is in the time before jam rooms, right? So like you needed to either have a rich drummer or a smart drummer. And man, our jam room stories are the next level only. Like where we used to practice in somebody's house.
Said R, said R, and I heard Lars.
Nahi bhai. Lars can probably own like a chain of jam rooms in across the world. So no, here we used to like, so Eggless Love Cake, because that time I didn't have a jam room, or I didn't even have a drum kit back then. So we used to like we used to actually sneakily steal the drum kit which used to be in Thadumal Sahani's college because the vocalist was still there. We used to give his ID, take it out, take the drum kit to a friend's house who used to have a fight with his parents and all, and we are like there with the drum kit and all while they're awkwardly fighting. Okay. And then they're like, fuck off, I'm going to do whatever this is my room. Come, guys. And then we used to, like set up the kit, practice for like 2 hours, and then like take the kit back to college. Like full on struggle days, dude. Like but it was epic. Like, cause it just made the rehearsal so much more like meaningful, So yeah, it was fun.
When did Koshish happen?
So, the first time I actually saw Koshish was in I think 2007 December, where I was judging some college competition in a college in, I think, Mulund. Okay, I remember that very clearly because the guy said, and now we would like to call the judges on stage to give them momentum. Okay,
so every judge had one guy behind them and like,
they're like pushing me. So I remember very distinctly, and also it was like it was a PG rated college, right? And so Gutslit was competing. Okay, and Gutslit
Oh
is
man.
obviously
Okay.
like this is 2007 December or something. So Gutslit was competing, and so but on the sheet they had written CUT, cut, like
Cutlet.
cut slash split, cut split.
Split.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
and I knew the
क्या
band,
बात है.
right? Like, and then there was Koshish, and there was Spiked Crib, and one more band. I think Zohak or something. And so that's the first time I saw Koshish, and they were with a different drummer back then. And I was like, oh, good stuff. But the drummer was like almost like you take an alt rock band and you put a thrash metal drummer in the band, So
Okay.
like like okay, there's something here, but not really happening. And then I think then Shrikant, and I obviously forgot about the band. Then in March 2008, Shrikant called me out of the blue. He's like, dude, can you like, will you play with us? We have a show in, I think, Musicians Mall or something. And me, or no, some college competition. I remember it was a college competition, and I'm like, that time I was like too cool, right? I'm like judging. I'm like, bro, I'm like judging and all. So he's like, "Arey chalega, prize money hai." And then he told me prize money. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go, let's do it. So, so then they came over. They had like 3 songs. I remember there was Raste, Rene Do, and the third song was Adat, obviously, because Hindi rock. I was like, dude, I don't play Hindi rock and all. I play Tool, prog metal. They're like, listen, if you want to win this competition, this is what you have to play. I said, okay, let's do it. So they came for like one rehearsal, and then we went for that show. The show never happened, obviously, because why should a college competition happen where they've like told you that itna prize money hai, you already calculated, itna milega. So that didn't happen. Then nothing happened, and then I think a month later he called me again. He's like, dude, this time there's a show. I was like, is there money? He's like, no, but there's exposure. Imagine Shrikant knew how to sell this to me. I said, oh, exposure. Okay, chal, let's play for exposure. So then
अभी श्रीकांत बोल रहे sold बोल रहे.
So then I said, okay, let's play. And then I actually had fun, like with the band. And I said, okay, this is like a different style and it's interesting. So we did that. And then he started calling me again. He's like, there are more shows happening and all. And then we started playing quite frequent. Again, this was like college competitions only. And we used to win quite a few of them. So I got like excited, like, okay, this is like a permanent thing. And then I was like, how do I sneakily change the genre from like Hindi rock to prog? So I used to say, hey guys, you know what? Just listen to how this beat sounds here. They're like, it sounds like nice. Then I started sneaking Tool into their playlists. And they're like, oh, this band is like epic. And then before you knew it, everyone was a Tool head. And then we were like, going towards, hey, have you
were the tool dealer. Tool dealer.
Man, literally. So I was like, hey, this song will sound good with this double bass. But then they were like, hey, no double bass, because they were used to like to good. I said, no, like patterns and all. So then they're like, okay, this sounds very good. Yeah, let's do it and all. And then, Tool. So yeah, and then we won a lot of like interesting competitions. Some competitions we won where we never got the money. Hey Shrikant, which reminds me, you remember your friend? We played that New Bombay College. We didn't get the money. Ask him, abhi interest ke saath bahut ho gaya rahega. So then we won like.
पर उसको interest नहीं देगा तो नहीं देगा ना.
Epic, dude. Epic. So yeah. So then so that. Behave. You just do. Don't do this. Okay. So then we won like IIT Roorkee, where we won like best drummer, best band. Then we won IIT Sarang. Again, there we didn't win best band over there because we lost to some band which had 3 keyboardists. We were like, we need to add like more keyboardists. But we won best drummer over there. And that was like on the same stage as Opeth, except that Opeth played the next day. But it was still a great feeling to play on the stage where Opeth was going to play the next day. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, man, and and then
This
like
was when? This was when? Which year?
this was IIT Sarang was I think Jan 2009.
Okay, so Martin Lopez was still drumming for them, probably.
No.
No,
That was
no.
the it was the first tour with Axelrod because I met Axelrod. I remember.
Oh, okay.
Um, I and in fact I
Man,
had
this
conduct.
2009. He was
Yeah,
already okay. How time
they're
flies,
just
man.
yeah, man, dude, we're old. Like
We're old.
we're old. Like let's just face it. So I mean, right now, which I'll tell you which album. Ha! I just saw 10,000 Days ka 16th anniversary was like 2 days ago or one day ago.
Ah,
Yeah, can you believe that? Like, I still remember the first time I played like 10,000 Days. And it was like, and dude, Lateralis was like 21 years ago, man. So it's been, yeah, we're old, really old. So anyway, so yeah, Axelrod and I was conducting this clinic on polyrhythms and all, and I gave Axelrod like my booklet. He's like, "Whoa, this is like cool stuff, man!" And I was explaining, "Oh, you know, and this hand does this hand does that, that foot does this, and all." He's like, "This is awesome," and yeah, that was it. So yeah, and Koshish has been like my consistent creative outlet for like now 14 years, which is quite a
wow,
while.
wow.
So yeah, that's. But
And at
now,
what point did you? Yeah, sorry, you were saying something.
no. I was just saying that now we're working on the second album, which is hopefully going to be like that next step. But yeah, it's going to take a while.
Mr. Makhija is
Oh,
also here.
hi Sahil. So by the way, I owe my double bass skills to Sahil because of all the ass whooping that he gave me for not being able to play fast. But yeah, he's the guy who's like always pushed me to play even blast beats and all. It's all like if not for Sahil, I wouldn't have been doing. Yeah, he said Martin Lopez left in 2006. So
2006,
yeah,
man, that's worse. Hope leaves. मतलब
yeah.
क्या बुड्ढे हो गए हम लोग.
So yeah. So yeah, and do you want to talk about my other crazy band Workshop that I totally miss a lot?
Oh yeah, workshop. Yes, I completely forgot. I still remember the photographs.
Yeah, dude, funnily enough, I actually went for a work interview with like a music company, and that guy's like, "Man, you look familiar. Have I seen you somewhere?" So then he's like, I said, "No, I've played in the indie scene." He's like, "Oh, I used to be the vocalist of Cyanide Angels." And wait, were you in that band that used to wear that PPE kit? I said, no. It was before COVID, so PPE kits didn't exist, but it was like the hard hat and overalls and all. So he's like, oh yeah, so that's Sahil's band. I was like, yeah. So we were on Launchpad. He's like, oh, I'm Ban's friend. Anirban was like the judge on that. So he's like, I'm Ban's friend and all. So I said, yeah. I was the cartoon, in that channel we Launchpad sing. So that actually gave us a lot of traction. I mean, we were on TV in like 2009 when TV was cool. So yeah, it was quite interesting. And man, Workshop was just like, so Workshop started in, I mean, the seed of Workshop was sown in like Jan 2007 when Sahil randomly called me. He's like, dude, I have an actual workshop to conduct for ESP guitars. So you know how Sahil is like insane with like launching brands and all. So he wanted to get ESP guitars to India. That time I think he was working for Fatados, and he's like, so I want to do a demo workshop, and I have these 3 songs that don't fit in like the DR or that kind of space. So do you want to like come and play drums and all? I was like, drum whore at your service. So I'm like, cool. And I said, who's on bass? And he's like, there's Riju. And I knew Riju because I used to play in Zohak. And Shehzad used to keep telling me that he's like, dude, your bad jokes are exactly like a friend of mine. Riju, he keeps cracking these bad jokes and all. You guys should meet up and all. So he was telling me this since like 2005, 2006. Then in 2007, I actually played with him, and like the first rehearsal itself, like Sahil was like, have I made the biggest mistake of my life? Because he's like in the center. From one side, I'm like, just assaulting him with the worst jokes possible. And then wherever Riju could like find a gap, like, and Sahil is like, guys, please just shut up and play. Okay, so that happened, and it was really well received. Okay, we thought that it would be like, people would just just not really be into what we were doing, and it wasn't comedy back then. It was just like good old like heavy metal, hard rock, that vibe. So
Yeah.
then Sahil was like, then he called me the next month for another workshop. Coincidentally, in the college of now my wife. So she saw me play with workshop in her college before she even knew of my existence. So thanks, Sahil. This is like again Feb 2007 or something, and that workshop was also fun. But then some of Sahil's comedic elements came out in that, where he was like, being funny to entertain like a college crowd and all of that. And then he called me again for like this one, man, what was the the KC College gig. And he's like,
Yeah.
should we compete and all? I'm like, dude, like you are the demon stealer. You've been judging competitions since before I was born, and you want to
Yeah.
now compete at a gig. He's like, yeah, man, I've not done it in a while and all. It'll be fun. So I said, okay, but we're an instrumental band. And Sahil's like, we'll see about that. I said, okay. And on the fly, he made up some random lyrics, okay, like really funny. And and then suddenly we were like just entertaining the crowd and making them laugh and all. And after the show, obviously we didn't win, because the one of the songs was like right on the spot was Pude Sarka, about like bus conductors
Right.
asking you to move forward and all. So,
Right.
and we didn't know what was happening. So we were just like having a ball on stage. And then Sahil's like, man, do you think this is a thing? I said, what? He's like, comedy and all. So we were like, okay, like, I had a blast, so let's do something. So he's like, okay, let me refine the songs a bit and all. And then we started jamming. So it was like a three-piece for the longest time. Then we did some random photo shoots because we were workshop. So he found like a screwdriver, like a small hammer, and then we were like posing in his house. That was like the first
I
ever
remember those. I
Yeah.
still remember those.
first ever workshop band photo shoot. Then Sahil decided that he's like, no man, I'm a serious guy and all. One of my bands is called Demonic Resurrection. The other is called Reptilian Death. And then I'm the Demon Stealer, so I can't be funny. So I said, okay, so what do you want to do? So he's like, no, my funny phase is past me and all. I was like, oh shit, this project died even before it started. So I was like, okay. Then nothing happened, and then like I think 6 months later, he's like, dude, you want to revive this project? I was like, obviously, man. I'm like waiting for this, because obviously, like comedy, right? Like my outlet of humor, or what I think is humor, has to. Hey,
He,
Sahil,
he completely disagrees.
you can call his wife and ask if he said this or not. I am challenging him. Get Deepthi on a call. He said, yeah, let's like now I want to do this and all. He was not in a happy phase in his life. That's what he told me. So workshop didn't happen. And then finally, like then we actually started writing the material for the first album. And he wrote like a laugh riot, because he wrote Bunty or Malika Sherawat. Like, for anybody who hasn't heard that song, you have to, because you will collapse because of all the nonsense there is in that song. Like, the first time I heard it, I was on the floor. I was like, dude, what is this? And he's like, yeah, this is some stuff I've written. And he used to play all this at like parties and all. I was like, dude, this is insane. We need to do this. And then he had some other songs. And then he had a song called Khuni Murga, okay, which is like about
I
a
remember.
zombie chicken. So these were all acoustic songs that then we said, oh, Kuni Murga, like, do you think it's funny if we mix like Punjabi beats with death metal? And he's like, dude, what? And then I just played like some random stuff, or a garba beat. Like I played a garba beat, and then I went into a blast, and he's like, dude, this is so stupid that it's actually funny. So that's how like Garba Gandu the song came to be. And man, we just had a blast, dude. Like workshop was just like, and like it was so fresh and so ridiculous that all the colleges wanted to book us. Like we played literally like every college in Bombay, in Pune back then, because it was so crazy. And like we used to, I remember in the last song, Sahil used to call like the organizers on stage, and at some gigs there used to be like 40 organizers on stage jumping with us in ICAM, and like just like unplugging cables and all, but none of it mattered because everyone was just having a blast. Like I just like really miss those days, man. So yeah. Kuni Murga used to be called Kuni Murda, but then we wanted it to be like not so like R-rated. So then we made it Murga, which was even worse because like imagine like a giant zombie chicken like chasing people. So yeah. So yeah, Anish is saying Kothai Dorocho. Oh yeah, we had like, so we thought we should be like this secular band and have what's the word I'm looking for, like inclusive, very inclusive band. So we had one song in Hindi, one song in English, one song in Gujarati, one song in Bengali, one song in Punjabi, and one song in Marathi, because obviously we had to fulfill the Marathi quota. So so yeah, although these were only songs, like when I say one song in Bengali, I meant like 3 words that Sahil was taught on the spot by like Riju and Raj back then. So yeah, that's fun times.
And so when did you get into the whole space of, so obviously, was it with Koshish that you started recording and getting to know the technical side of things, working with microphones, technology, mixers?
The first time I actually recorded something was with a band called Bitslap in 2006 at SAE. Oh, funnily enough, at SAE, which is that sound audio engineering, I think that's what it's called, in Andheri.
Right.
So Ashwin, our current manager, recorded 2 songs of Koshish back then. This was, I think, in 2008 only, 2008. But 2 years before that, I had recorded with Bitslap. Oh, and I had another band with our ex live sound engineer Ninad. That band was called Mukti, and we recorded one track there in 2007. I can't remember whose project that was. That was also an SEA project only. So yeah, that was the first time I actually like saw what a drum kit looks like when it's mic'd. Like all the like I actually saw a console. Then I got to know what the different brands of the mics were. No, actually, I knew brand mics a long time ago because I was in love with Danny Carey and Gavin Harrison. And I knew of AKG because of Gavin Harrison, I think as far back as 2004, 2005. Again, some either a Drummer World article or a Rhythm magazine article where he mentioned that his go-to mics for overheads are the AKG 414s. And
414.
And one more that so he had an interesting combination which I also use now of the D12 and the D112. So that like that was the first time I even realized that you needed two mics on a kick drum, like one inside for the click and one outside for the low end thump. So and I think in that article, there was a picture of how these mics looked. And the D12 VR looked like really cool. I was like, oh wow, like what is this? And so
Yeah.
that's when I got to know about mics for the first time. And then in 2006, I actually saw what the mics were. But I like, obviously I didn't have any exposure to what brands were. So yeah, it was like my job was just to like play, and whoever was recording gave us a recording. And I was like, man, this doesn't sound anything like Porcupine Tree or Tool. And then they're like, yeah, but you don't also play like them or tune like them. I'm like, good point. So so yeah, that's how.
And what's happening now? What are you involved with? Who are you playing with right now? And
So right now, actually, to be very honest, since I started playing with Bollywood artists, I kind of felt that my indie stuff took a backseat, and
Hmm.
honestly, like the indie stuff is what I sort of became famous for, or got all my endorsements and all of that for that, because that was like music that that I created with my bands. Like that was my creative outlet. So and because I was playing in Bollywood for so long, that sort of took a backseat. Uh, but I realize now that I need to get back into that and finish off a lot of the unfinished projects, because actually I don't know if you know, like the workshop guitarist Raj, he passed away in November, and it was like a bummer, because we were working on like a tech metal project from our Apollonian Quest days, way back in like
Oh,
2006, when we used to play like tech death together. We never really got an album out. So we had, like just connected again after he quit workshop in like 2010. In 2020 we connected again, and we wrote some crazy technical music. 3 songs were like completely done. There were like almost like 14 or 15 in the pipeline. And because I was so busy or not really in the indie space, that project is like now forever going to be like in limbo. So that kind of like hit me pretty hard. So now I want to focus on putting stuff out that I want to put out musically.
hmm.
So one on the cards is obviously the Koshish second album, which we've really sort of slogged on, because it's like the first album still had like some of the the alt rock roots, but the new album is like it's like, if you're a prog metal fan, you're going to like really, because it's like where we left off from like Maya Mukti. Now this
Yeah.
album starts from there. So it's like, but obviously the element of that accessible element is there, but it's like layered with a lot of technical complex stuff, which is like, I feel, our sort of creative pinnacle. So that's something which is like right on the cards, because the last album that we I mean, the only album that we technically released was in 2013, which we recorded in 2011. So it's about time. We don't want to break like Tool's record of 13 years. uh, but yeah, that's like what we really want to do. And my jam room, so in December 2020, my jam room got pretty much destroyed by termites. And a lot of time has sort of been taken up, because I needed to do some like masonry changes, which are now finally done. So once that
Hmm.
happens, I've got like all the equipment to set up, like convert it into a proper studio with all the, AKG mics, monitors, thanks to you, that I've got, which have like I've not been able to use. So now I'm gonna basically make that. I'm gonna have like a lot of product review videos, shootout videos of all the 85 cymbals that I have, like all the snares. I'm gonna be doing a lot of that stuff, a lot of like lessons, and a
Hmm.
lot of like indie recordings, and maybe a lot of covers that I want to do of the bands that I look up to. So obviously like Tool,
Right.
Meshuggah, Porcupine Tree. So I'm going to be doing a lot of
Right.
that, which is going to put me back into that, the mindset of being like a prog metal drummer. and not somebody who's sort of selling out for money. But yeah,
I
but
know,
yeah,
I know
that's.
exactly what you mean.
I mean, I had fun obviously while I did it. I got to learn a lot and all of that. But I felt that I seriously like ditched my true side, which I'm not okay with. So yeah, so that's on the cards. Hopefully, my jam room now studio is going to be up and running maybe in a month's time, and
Oh,
yeah,
super.
so I'm going to be doing a lot of Harman videos with like mic shootouts, which I've wanted to do. I've like spoken to like 5 sound engineers already. Told them, they're like, bro, what happened? I'm like, it's happening. You're going to get a call very soon. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yep, absolutely. Or obviously, let me know once it's up. I would love to come and hang. So
For sure, man. For
let's
sure. For sure. But yeah, man, like I've set a personal deadline, 1 month, and it's going to be up and running.
super, super. On that very positive note, let's wrap this up. And
Yes.
thank you so much, Hamza and Jambai and Numa for joining.
Wait,
Uh,
before that, I
and
have a
Googling.
small jingle for that you should consider for JBL headphones.
Okay, okay.
This is very bad, okay, but this is specially for you. JBL के headphones देखे मेरा दिल दीवाना बोले ले 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 ले. Sorry, man.
But I don't know. People with the surname might find it offensive.
Yeah, I get it. So I think now before we start getting like we start getting galis,
Hate
I think
mail.
we
Yeah,
yeah, you'd be like, Harish, you were doing so well with all your other guests. What happened?
yeah. What happened all of a sudden? You've been making expressions and sounds we've never heard before.
Man. Cool, man. Thank you so
Cool.
much for having me. And man, like I said, I mean, you guys made me achieve a part of my dream. Like I said, because I saw Gavin Harrison with these mics, and I was like, one day, way back in like 2006 and in 2017, 18, whenever we did the endorsement deal. So it was literally like me, living a part of my dream. So thank you so much for having
Must have
the.
come must have come full circle and then AKG हाथ में रख के is a okay जी.
Yeah, so that was quite a thing. So I'm really grateful to you and the rest of the team for that, and
I'm glad we could be of help.
thank you so much. Cool, man. So thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. I hope I didn't pakao you
Our
too
pleasure.
much. And
अरे no. The feeling is mutual. मतलब
I'm a fan of your jokes. So yeah. So thanks so much, man.
cool.
Okay.
Thanks Hamza for joining us, and thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. Until next time, ciao. Thanks. See you, Hamza. Take care.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.